We have a full house today, and I know that we have more people than actually can sit there. So I know we still have a few people that are walking around here. I just want to say, if you want to talk during the presentation, it's going to take about 45 minutes. Then please walk to the roof terrace. We have a beautiful space here available today. You can just grab a drink, have a chat. But for those of you that want to learn more about what we've actually been up to, I would say sit down and listen to myself and Steven. I'll start by saying welcome, and actually welcome back, because throughout the past 2 hours, there have been so many familiar faces that have been here, a community event before, maybe even the first one. And it's amazing to see on days like this, the beautiful turnout that we have. I think especially for us, always working from home, working remote, it's tough to see what you're actually building, how it's interpreted by the public. And I think especially days like today, they show that what we're building matters. And I just want to say thank you for making it all the way here, especially to the ones that took a flight overseas to make it here. And I just think it shows what a beautiful community we have. So throughout the next 30 minutes, we will have Steven, our head of investment and partnerships, and myself. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Marco. I'm one of the co-founders, and I typically mingle in anything that has to do with gaming. And we'll also today have a whole bunch of beautiful games that you will be able to try out, play, while you're able to enjoy the drinks and enjoy the weather, which we're very lucky with, by the way. So when I was preparing this presentation, I was thinking I really wanted to start with this sentence, which is, last year we made a promise. And I think the we in this case is not necessarily Merit Circle, it is more us as an industry. Because throughout the past couple of years, we've been waiting for fun games to play. We've been waiting for concepts to turn into a reality. And there's been so many studios that have been funded and are still here today. But it also takes a long time to develop games, to make them actually properly, to be able to ship them out. And so there's also a lot of them that are going to fail. I think the exciting thing about the state of Web3 gaming, which we presented last year, is that last year it really was that. It were concepts, and there were a few games that you were able to play, one of which was Forgotten Playland, that I remember here in the crowd there were a whole bunch of people that were able to try it out. And the first thing I spotted was that immediate competitiveness and that immediate excitement just picking up a casual fun to play game. And I'll talk a little bit more about Forgotten Playland later and just show you where we are today. But the other part that we presented, I think for the first time, at least at the community event it was Beam. And when we introduced Beam, we said, we want to make an ecosystem that basically enables developers to take blockchain inside of their games in a way that actually doesn't, require the gamer to go through hurdles, but rather for them to be able to experience the benefits of blockchain technology, but not have to study whole white papers to be able to actually play a game. And today, too, we have an amazing demo that we'll be showing later from Crystals of Narrow Moons that shows the actual technology that we have built and how it's used within the game. So yeah, I hope you're excited to check that out. So this year, it's not so much promises anymore. I think this is the first year where we're standing here, and next year we're probably going to see a similar presentation, because we feel that we found our product market fit, and we feel that what we're building here is going to be received well by the industry, and actually something that we feel is needed for the industry. So we're super excited about that. And the first number that you maybe have spotted, and you may have spotted in our latest Treasury report, is that the Treasury now counts over $200 million. And while that number is amazing, it's not money that counts, it's what you do with it that counts. And therefore, I'm maybe even more excited about the second number that you see on this slide, which is that today we're working with 100 plus different studios, either on the technology side, either on the investment side, and on the community side. And it just shows that how many studios are actually there and how many you'll be able to still play that are not playable today. So I already briefly mentioned the Beam ecosystem. And where last year this was a concept, we now have a whole ecosystem of different products. And in essence, the products you see here are everything that you need to be able to run a proper chain. But more so, the tech stack itself is chain agnostic, is already running across different blockchains and is functioning. I think personally, as a gamer, there were two main products that I briefly want to highlight, given that we'll talk more about Beam later. And I'll start with the Beam Hub. Ever since Merit Circle started, the community has been, I would say, almost the most important thing. And I think that shows here today with the turnout that we have, that the people care about, again, the Merit Circle DAO, and they're enjoying what we're doing. And we enjoy having you with us in that journey. So the Beam Hub, in essence, is a content platform where people can explore games, they can learn more about them, and they can run social quests to be able to earn rewards, earn whitelist spots, to be able to get access to different games. And this was one of our earliest products that we shipped. And as we were expanding onto the ecosystem, I would say the Beam Hub could have used a little bit more love, and that is a phase that we're now going into. So now that we have the different products ready, and they're being enjoyed by a bunch of gamers across few games already, and they're being enjoyed by developers that get to play around both on testnet and mainnet, the Beam Hub is now going to see a next phase where we're mainly focusing again on that quest side to be able to work with different studios to actually get the games inside of the player hands while enabling them to learn more about it. So I'm super excited about that next phase. The other product that I really want to highlight here, and you're going to see that again in a demo later, is Sphere. And Sphere initially, I believe, was already an idea before even Beam was an idea. We thought we want a marketplace that is 100% focused on gaming. And it's not just a white blank sheet with NFTs on it that tell you nothing about the game. It is a marketplace that will actually teach you before you play the game, what is this game actually about and what can I use those NFTs for? But it's much more than just a browser marketplace, because I already told you, with the Beam ecosystem, we want to build an ecosystem that actually takes the gamer experience, the blockchain experience, inside of the games and enables people to enjoy it. So I am incredibly excited as a gamer to see a functioning marketplace inside of games where I will mint NFTs, I will buy them, sell them, whatever, and I'm not taken out of that experience. So yeah, expect a lot more games to be able to showing that in real time later on. The other aspect that I think sometimes get a little overlooked how important it actually is the studio arm. Because building tech is one thing. You also have to know what is it actually that the developers and the players are looking for that you are building. And I always say, what better way to learn what to build than by experiencing the pain points and the development firsthand yourself. And so within the studio arm, we have 4 different projects here. And I'll start saying that Forgotten Playland is a social party game that you'll be able to enjoy in the Orange Tower up here all throughout the day. Castle Blackwater, I'll be talking more about them shortly as well, is a social deduction game that you'll also be able to play today. But the 2 ones I want to briefly highlight are, first of all, Snack Club. Snack Club was acquired by us later last year. And for those of you that are not familiar, they have a very strong track record in influencer marketing and user acquisition campaigns for game studios. And I think there's always 3 things that a lot of studios are looking for. First of all, it is money to be able to build the game. Second of all, it is support and good technology. But third, they're also looking for players. And so with a party like Snack Club, being able to run user acquisition campaigns with a team that has been doing this for years is something that we're looking to heavily explore now that we're getting into a phase where the games are actually fun and playable. The second one that I want to dive into a little bit more in this slide is Eden Horde. And for those of you that are not familiar with Eden Horde, it is an NFT project by Merit Circle, and it has allowed us to firsthand experience what is it like to do gamifications, build a community, and really also do the game development yourself. And today, we've gotten those fun little characters inside a game called Eden Horde Eclipse, which is a digital card game that we've already showed and have the community played throughout the past, I would say, year. So throughout the year, it's been playable, but we've just done a really fun and nice overhaul that I think just brings this whole Eclipse to the next level that I hope you guys will enjoy and will be able to play later down in the other room. So there you have it. In essence, everything that we're being up to is Beam. We're going to talk a little bit about Sophon, given that that's been a mysterious project that has been going around in our community channels and been talked quite a bit about. We have Tactile, and I've already seen quite some people today wearing Merit Circle merchandise. But Tactile is much more than just merchandise, and I'll tell you a little bit about it in a minute. And again, Forgotten Playland and Castle Blackwater. So with our ecosystem, I wanted to start with something fun and light. And that is the next, basically, phase for Merit Circle Tactile, Beam Tactile. And I already mentioned, Tactile is much more than just merchandise, because for us, it's a way to take the virtual excitement that we have in the Merit Circle community to something that is physical and that you can showcase to others. And again, I love seeing the Merit Circle merchandise around the events today. And that's been so fun. We always say when we do something, we want to do it right. And I think that even goes down to the little, well, more little projects, I would say, like Tactile. And I hope that here today, too, you'll be able to enjoy it. Because, as I mentioned, there's going to be 7 playable games throughout the day. And for those of you that actually managed to win a game, you'll be able to get a small gift that is along the lines of Tactile. So I would say go and compete, go and play, and enjoy it. I already mentioned Forgotten Playland a couple of times, and where it was just one party game that you were able to play here on the stairs last year, and where I mentioned we saw so many people have fun. Today is much more than that. We have, in the last week of April, we did a public test launch, I would say, for the public to be able to try out 8 party games. And rather than just talking about games, I figured today I would rather just show some videos, because again, we're at the point where you can play and see games. So yeah, enjoy the quick little video on Forgotten Playland. Well, there you have it. I already see immediately a lot of faces light up and enjoying the video. So I already mentioned there's 8 playable party games right now. But for the ones of you that make it up the stairs, up to the tower, you'll be able to play also a few party games that haven't been released to the public yet. And I hope that you enjoy those as well. I already mentioned that Forgotten Playland launched in the last week of April. And I'll say again, it's been a test launch. And with this launch, we've had thousands of mini games played by players. And we've gotten such amazing feedback that shows us that we are on the route, on the good route. And it is still that game that we showed at the community event last year that sparks the competitiveness and sparks the fun in people, and it being super casual and fun to pick up. But we're also very realistic. And I think especially with a game that is very casual and should be easy to pick up, right now, there are still a few hurdles that we need to overcome for players to be able to really enjoy it. And one of those things is the launcher experience, where right now you have to download the launcher, then install Epic Games Store account, and then be able to play a game. We're looking to really step away from that and hopefully launch soon, and I'll say soon, but it will still take a while, on the Epic Games Store directly, so that people can just sync their account and play the game directly. The other thing that you see here is 8 minigames. And let's compare that to Mario Party. Mario Party counts over 50 different minigames. And so realistically, we have a long way to go. And that's exactly what in this next phase we're going to be focused on. So you can expect throughout the next couple of months, us just constantly shipping more minigames for you to enjoy. And while we're not going to do the big marketing pushes yet, because again, we're not ready yet, we will allow the public, the core community, and yourselves to be able to enjoy it, give us feedback, and bear it down the road with us. The other game that is in our studio arm that I want to highlight today is Castle Blackwater. And it's been incredibly fun for me personally as well to be able to work with the Castle Blackwater guys throughout the past, I would say, 2.5 years. And to have 2 founders that don't come from the gaming industry, just pick those things up, learn what it's like to actually build a game studio and build a game. They've come really far, and this game too is incredibly fun. I already mentioned that it's a social deduction game, so you might think like Among Us or Goose Goose Duck. But here too, rather than explaining what the game is like, I'd rather just show you with a quick video as well.
Castle of Blackwater.
So there's one element, main element, that is missing in this video, and that is in the social deduction game, you're meant to talk. And so throughout the past period, I would say Castle of Blackwater has been in a little bit of a similar situation as Forgotten Playland. They've been able to play this together with the community for a long time. And here too, we've had such fun moments with people talking to each other. As you saw in the video, getting backstabbed, you're the traitor, or you're the good guy. And it's a really fun and casual game to pick up. They've been able to play this with the community for a while now. And one thing they did really well, I would say, is they chose to go the play to airdrop route. But they did it in a way where, depending on how many people would actually tune in, that decided how big that token pool was. But it also decided how are we going to go about creating the lobbies, organizing this actually in the community channels. And that's been incredibly fun to follow. So some key numbers that you see here is that there's been over 10,000 different games throughout that season, over 2,000 hours played, and over 6.5K accounts created. And in traditional gaming, this is still, very small numbers. I would say in Web3, it's been impressive to follow this, given that it's a niche game, and they've been able to, again, build this community from the crowd up without a gaming background. And they're here today as well. You'll be able to play the game today. And I really hope that you'll enjoy it and give us your feedback. So what is next for Castle Blackwater? I wanted to briefly highlight this because I already mentioned developing a game takes a really, really long time for many games. And in this case, right now it's in the phase where the community is able to continuously play it and enjoy it and have fun. But there are still next level things that need to be done. One of the things, I'm not even sure if they've mentioned this in the community yet, that they're working on, they definitely not showed this concept version yet, is but they're working on an in-game store. And I've already briefly mentioned Sphere and how excited I'm about taking Web3 experiences inside of the game. And that is something that we're exactly looking to do here as well. The other thing is that social deduction games are also very casual games. You want them to be able to easily be picked up by players. And so Castle Blackwater is also later down the road coming to mobile and definitely coming to Steam for you to download and play. The last slide before I give my mic to Steven is on Sophon. And I already mentioned that Sophon is a project that I think took the industry by storm, given how mysterious it was being on Twitter with the tweets and the video and the little hints on what is this actually. And I want to talk to you about a little bit what is Sophon, but also why does this matter for Merit Circle? And we have a mysterious person here today that might be able to answer all the questions that you have on Sophon. We have Seb here. Please raise your hand a second. So for those of you that want to learn more about Sophon, you can walk up to him and question. Don't be shy. But Sophon, in essence, is an entertainment-focused blockchain. And it is built as a modular roll-up using CK-Sync hyperchain technology. And that is a mouthful, especially for people that might not be as technical, which includes myself. So the reason why this is so exciting is that where a lot of blockchains failed to properly scale and not become congested at a large sum of transactions, CK's technology has always been able to withstand that. And I think especially for entertainment, where you're thinking gaming, AI, ticketing, think of the ticket that you came in here with today, which is also on the blockchain, it needs this kind of technology to be able to do this. Again, why does this matter for Merit Circle? We've always said we want to be where the gamers are, and we want to be where the games are. And with Sophon too, we believe that this is going to be a very vibrant ecosystem. It is backed by CK Sync itself, Sentry, Beam, ourselves, and A-Tier. And we're super excited to take the technology of the Beam ecosystem and offer that onto the Sophon blockchain as well, and cater to all the game studios that want to work with us there. That being said, I would love to give the mic to Steven to talk more about milestones, roadmap, among other things. So, thank you.
Thank you, Marco. Hi, everyone. So great that you could all be here today. Amazing turnout, so thank you very much. So my name is Stephen Bryson Haynes. I'm the Head of Investments and Partnerships. I take care of onboarding a lot of our developers and working closely with all of our developers through a process of onboarding onto Beam. And obviously with our team, it's excellent that so many of them could be here today. And how far we have come from Merit Circle to Beam in this year has been incredible. Looking at our timeline, as you've seen, of only Q4 last year, we went live on the Avalanche subnet with the deployment of our full technology. This was an early onboarding phase to prove out our tech. We only worked with 2 or 3 of our early portfolio companies that we could slowly onboard and work for a process. However, by the end of Q4 last year, we already had 20 games confirmed with building on Beam, really proving out that what we're building at Beam is very much required in the gaming ecosystem and Web3. In Q4, we looked at, now that we've proven this with 20 games, we want to continue scaling and growing and being where all of the game developers and games are. And this was very much in our vision and ethos. We chose to partner with Immutable on their new ZK VM chain, powered by Polygon as well. And we saw that working with them would give us greater exposure to more and more games. As you know, this chain only went live in Q1. However, by the end of Q1 alone, we already started and partnered with over 20 of their leading games to also be working in the Beam ecosystem with our technology. And Q2 and now, as you've seen, we're really continuing that momentum and traction, working with games, working with gamers. We've now got over 30 games today confirmed to be building on Beam. Around 15 of those are becoming live and available to play now. And already working with over 25 of the top games on the Immutable new ZK VM chain. Looking at the rest of this year and what it looks like, it's really the year of momentum, capturing developers, working with developers and growing out to be the largest gaming ecosystem out there. Partly that is the deployment of our technology. As I mentioned, we started with Avalanche. We've now deployed on ZK VM. We'll be also deploying and working with Sophon, continuing growing out our user base of developers and gamers with Beam. This is a snapshot of the live games we have today. Over 15 games right now. We're extremely happy with these games and working very closely with them to onboard into our community, into our tech stack. And a lot of the community are getting involved with a lot of these games. I thought it'd be a good time to tell you a little bit about what do we look at for gaming? What's our ethos for gaming? For us, this is very much around, we're not here to completely reinvent gaming. We see that Web3 and blockchain technology is purely an opportunity to enhance existing gaming. Gaming's been around for a long time. It's a very successful industry. We don't need to reinvent that. We're purely here to advance it rather than recreate. And what do we mean by that? So we've seen a lot of games, for instance, MMO-style games, Diablo 2, World of Warcraft. They're built on very large economies, a lot of tradable items. We think this can be incredibly enhanced with blockchain technology. And that gives us reason to why we're working with some of these games. For instance, we're working with Crystals of Narromins that we're going to show you a video of later. This is a game with an immersive action RPG game. It's built in the Beam ecosystem, similar to a Diablo 2 style genre, with a very strong economy built in game. and we'll show you a little video of that later. Other areas we like is simple game loops like skins. We've seen two of the top games of all time, League of Legends, Counter-Strike. These games are built on tradable skins as their main business model. So again, we see that moving into this area, allowing in-game technology to enhance that, provide ownership for the users, for the players, is where blockchain and Beam can really advance. A little bit about why developers are choosing Beam. Beam offers a full out-of-the-box solution that developers need, whether that's support, ecosystem, and infrastructure. Originally, developers, game devs are looking at very simple question and answers on what is a blockchain, how does it work. Previously, it was just, is your chain cheap? Is it fast enough? Very simple questions, and most chains offer that now. With Beam, it's much more, there's a lot more to consider. What other additional technology do you provide? What support do you provide? What is the integration look like? For us, we provide that fully out of the box on the technology side. We provide a full account abstraction SDK to streamline the integration for both the developer. More importantly, how a player interacts with the game. We believe that it should simply be come in, play a game, download the game. You don't have to worry about gas or how to create a wallet, how to sign transactions. All of this has been abstracted away with our Beam technology. And with the support, every developer we work with really gets a lot of handheld support in so many different areas, whether that's go to market with our marketing team and advising them in the next 12 months on how they should be acquiring users, what their social media marketing should be around. With the technology team, we work with them through the process of integrating their games, making sure all of this works seamlessly with Beam for their players. So a bit more about our technology. As I said, we started with the Avalanche subnet. You might be asking, why Avalanche? For us, when we made this decision, it was an obvious choice that the Avalanche subnet worked. It's proven. We could deploy it. We had a lot of support from Avalanche. They've been a great gaming partner for us. Whenever Avalanche is working with a game, they recommend and send them to Beam to work in our ecosystem. We're their main gaming partner. And that's been an excellent support, and we're constantly working with them to both work on games together. And our SDK, as I mentioned, this is our full software development kit. It's our tech infrastructure that offers quite a difference between different blockchains. With our SDK, it means that developers can simply use our technology into their game, and it provides the player experience, which is a very streamlined process. Gamers no longer, as I mentioned, need to create wallets, sign transactions, make sure gas is in their account. They don't need to write 12 words on a piece of paper and put it under their mattress for security. All of this has been taken away. And finally, Sphere. Sphere is our in-game marketplace. We do things a little bit different as usual. Everything is purely gaming. We think gamers don't want to go through OpenSea and sieve through thousands of different collections. Everything we do is gaming focused, gaming related. We offer this as an in-game marketplace. As I mentioned, we'll show you a little video and demonstration of how this works. But we think all gaming interactions should be within the game. We allow developers to implement our Sphere, the marketplace, directly into their game, and then all transactions can be available, buying, selling, swapping. And it's a two-sided marketplace. Any item that you put for sale within the game can also be bought on the website and vice versa. So this is a video that we're just going to show you now that shows our full process for the gamer.
We are now in the capital city of Narmoons, called Arcadia, where we'll approach a merchant to upgrade our item to an ethereal, which are the most powerful items in the game, surviving the seasonal resets. So after reading through what the Ascension means, we'll confirm it and see our item get crafted live. It'll receive unique new properties, which you can view in the tooltip. If you want to verify that your item has been crafted, click on the Armory button to view it in the Armory. Now that we have some ethereal items crafted, we can go ahead and list them on the Sphere Marketplace. So we'll grab one of our ethereals and we'll drag it into the merchant window and put a asking price. So here let's go with 2 beam tokens and list. When you've done that, you can click on this See an Armory button again and you'll be taken to the Armory website where you can click on the button to open it in Sphere. You'll be taken to the Sphere Marketplace where you can view your item and its asking price.
Thank you. So Crystals and Arrowmounts is here today. I very much recommend going and playing this game, checking it out. But what we've seen here is a full experience within the game. You can mint items in the game, upgrade items within the game, all on blockchain. Items are then tradable, sellable directly in the game. Our 2024 goals. As you can see, this is the year really of momentum and growth working with developers. Today, we've mentioned that we've got over 15 games live. We'll be growing that to over 30 games live on Beam this year. We'll have 50 games committed to the Beam ecosystem. We're already the leading marketplace on Immutable in terms of partnerships, working with the majority of their top games. We're expecting to grow that out to over 50 games working in our ecosystem and on our technology. And finally, the Beam Hub. This is something that we feel is so important. Growing out a gaming community dedicated to games is so important. A lot of the game developers are asking us now, what is community like? Because for them, they see that if this is something where they can bootstrap their early game economy and players and really get a lot of traction, this is becoming more and more important in Web3. Thank you, and pass you back to Marco.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Stephen. So there you have it, honestly. This is the entire ecosystem of everything that we are working on and have been working on. And this is honestly only the large lines because there's so much that is happening. And on a beautiful day like this, we could be talking technology and gaming throughout the whole day, but we also want to be able to just have you play the games, go for your drinks, go for your chats, and enjoy the actual day. However, there's 7 playable games today, and there's one in particular that I want to briefly highlight before I give the mic to an amazing founder. And that is Trial Xtreme. Trial Xtreme is a game that I am personally very excited about because it's a game that I used to play during my childhood, and I've already spoken to a few people here that used to play it back in the day as well. It's now coming with a Web3 title, and it's already been playable in initial version by the community, and it will be playable today as well with a 10K prize pool that Daron will talk more about. Daron is someone that will come stay on the stage in a minute, and he'll probably introduce himself. But I wanted to say that he has an amazing track record as a founder and has been here since the beginning of mobile gaming and definitely put his stamp on the industry. And I think more importantly as well, he's become throughout the past years also a very close friend of us. And it's been an absolute pleasure to work with you, Daron. So that being said, I would love to ask you for 15 more minutes of your patience to learn more and see more about a really amazing game. And for the time, I want to say thank you for listening to myself and Stephen throughout the past half an hour.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. They asked me to speak here for 3 reasons. They didn't really ask, but for 3 reasons. First, I'm Merit Circle token owner, like everybody here, so I'm part of the family. I get ticket to events like this. Second one, as Marco said, we are running a tournament today. It's the first one. I'll speak about it in a second. And we're giving away 10,000 USDC, which is significant. So hang on to the last slide. This is how you can participate and go home with more money that you came in with. The third one is that we are doing a game. We are not doing a Web3 game. I don't like this phrase, Web3 game. We are doing a game. The whole concept of Web3 games being different from Web2 games and some paywalls of NFTs and token, etc. It might work down the line. It won't work today because the mass audience, the players, are not on Web3. And in order to bring them, and the games will be probably the catalyst to the blockchain and the crypto, we need to create something that Web2 users that never heard about wallets, never heard about crypto, can really connect to, and they can really connect to games. And if you think about what is a game with the full economy and currencies and hard currency and soft currency, everything is there waiting to be connected to the blockchain. So we are all surrounded with people who know crypto, know blockchain, and we get the wrong impression that the world is there. The 99% of the people that surround me in the gaming space think that crypto is a scam, blockchain will never work, and yeah. So don't get the wrong impression. We are super early, very early. So I'll give a brief of what we're doing and why do we hope that our game can be the catalyst for bringing millions of users to the blockchain. We started doing mobile games 20 years ago, I guess. Yeah, I'm from that time, before the cars, people were driving with horses. So we started 20 years ago when there were no smartphone. It was Java phone. Nokia was the market leader, yeah, many years ago. We sold a couple of companies of games, and then we opened the lifestyle business, meaning we didn't raise money, just doing games, and yeah, life were good. One of our games, Trial Xtreme, was quite successful. We got to 300 million downloads on the App Store, which is a big number. And life were very quiet and good, so we thought, how can we make it more complicated? And in 2022, I went down the rabbit hole of crypto, blockchain, etc., and never found the way back to where I came from. Because I got to the understanding, after so many years in the gaming space, that Web3, that doesn't exist, is the natural evolution of the free-to-play. I have no doubt that if the game is designed in the right way and have the quality of the Web2 games, the players will always choose a game that have more functionality than a regular game. So if we have two games with the same set of features, the same quality, and one of them can also do play to earn, you can trade your assets in the game, etc., people will choose this over the game that is basically a linear version of the game. So we are going there, but we're still early. So having this conviction of, yeah, this is the future, I convinced my two co-founders to open a new company and to design a game from bottom up, from scratch. How can we with one mission, how can we onboard players that are downloading a game, not a Web3 game, a game from the App Store or from Google Play, and introduce the Web3 world? Because this will be the future. But how do we do it in a way that will not be intimidating, without seed phrase, without wallets, without if I lose everything, without FTXs that are collapsing? How do we do it? So the first thing, what we know how to do best is to develop a game. Well, what you see in the background is just the gameplay, right? It's a very high-end gameplay for mobile, and it's based on what we've been doing. We've just done a better version of that. So the quality is there. But then we added some things that will make it more interesting for the audience that we bring in. What you see here is, we call it a festival zone. Think about a hub like Sandbox or Roblox, or where you just hang out, meet other people, interact with other people, and decide if you want to go and race with them, or you go to the career mode, which is a single player mode that you can do whatever you want. But this space of the festival zone basically gives us the infrastructure for endless biz dev opportunities. If you think about that, there are many buildings. As you can see, this is the garage where people can craft their bikes. This is a market. So take this, for example. We are in discussion with Samsung to launch the game also on the Samsung App Store. And when we demonstrated the game, they said, stop, what's that? Well, what's this store? And yeah, it's a merchandise store that we sell for players, new skins, new helmets, new parts of bikes. How can we get a Samsung store in your festival zone? Interesting. So just an example of a cooperation, right? A player can get a coupon, can go to a Samsung store, and for them, that's all that matters. They want to sell devices. That's their objective. So they face a real problem now. This young audience that is just playing games all day, how do they get hold of them? And think about the opportunities that we can present with the blockchain, with basically going to this store and minting your own NFT something that will have value in the real world. And I'll speak about it in a second. So the festival zone basically gives us, as you can see, many buildings that can be customized as per of the corporation that we are closing around it. The last part, and music, but that's a long-term vision. It's another thing that is missing today. I'm coming from California, from the outside of San Francisco, but I speak a lot with friends in LA, and the music industry have a problem. They don't know how to get to the young audience. All the things that used to work in the past are not relevant to the young audience. It's not consuming the music the same. So for example, in the DJ spot where you saw, if we can give new artists an opportunity to be introduced to a new audience, that's another way for business, for BizDev. Anyway, endless opportunities there. And the last thing I'll show from the game is basically the introduction to the Web3. So that's the personal garage that every player gets. Through the gameplay, you're collecting bike parts, blueprints, all kind of nice things that you take to your garage and you craft your bike. Once you craft your bike, you want to make it better some way. Level it up, upgrade it, fuse it with another bike and get a nicer bike. And through the process, you are creating a very nice bike. At some point, when your bike is really good, you have the option to mint it as NFT. For a Web2 player, that would be the first time that he will be introduced to the Web3 in a very soft way, because we explain what it means in a very gamified way. You'll have two options when you mint your bike as NFT. One, you will have access to the Lamborghini tournament. Okay, there's a tournament. Lamborghini is just an example. We're not giving away Lamborghini, but you will have access to the Lamborghini tournament only if you have the bike in the level of the NFT, not just a regular bike. So I want the NFT bike. But what does a spoiled US whale that don't have the patience of 1 month playing in order to get to an NFT bike does? Usually they go to the store, spend $200 and buy the bike. So what we do, instead of selling it directly to the whales, we introduce a marketplace within the game, introducing the person that built the NFT bike to the person that wants to spend money and save time. And then there is a transaction, and the NFT is moving over. That's one example. There are many smaller examples, like the character evolution through the game. Every character comes with a battle pass. Once they finish all the tasks, they have some special ability, and then they become NFT that gives access to buildings and basically is tradable. But what is interesting, except for that, is what we do with the tokens and the tracks. And I'll pause here just to say something that was told about Beam and the chain. And this makes sense because it's relevant for everybody here. We chose to work with Beam. Although we got very, 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 I can say it many times, attractive offers from other chains that offered us 7-digit grants just to work on their chain. And we still chose Beam, and we got nothing, zero, nothing. but it comes with a reason. I mean, we are a business. We are here to make money. We are not here just to work with our friends, although it's important also. The reason that we chose Beam was first, we bought the concept. I mean, the concept is so correct. Web 2 people know how to make a game. That's what we know how to do. We don't assume that we understand the Web 3 world. Everything is possible, right? We can read the white papers and we can do everything. But we shall make mistakes. And working in a philosophy of, here is a set of tools. We already done the mistakes. We know what you should do and what you shouldn't do. And working with us will basically make your life easier, but also will, I don't want to say guarantee, but lower the risk that you'll do a critical mistake that will fuck the tokenomics and fuck the game. So this worth more than few millions grant, because on the long run, this is more important. We are looking at a bigger picture. So the reason that we chose Beam is, one is this philosophy, and the second is the support that we're getting. And it's important to understand the other side, right? The game developers, because eventually this is the audience. These are the people that should buy the Beam. So the support that we got from Beam to translate crypto and blockchain into things that we can implement. I mean, it's an ongoing process. It didn't finish yet, but it's a pleasure to work with Beam, and I'm much more bullish today on Merit Circle after working with the Beam team than I was when I just spent money and bought some Merit Circle a few years ago. So back to the NFT and the implementation. Two more things that I want to touch on: the Web3 implementation of the game, where we are, how you can get involved, and why is it relevant. We are going to present token in the game. And the presentation of the token in the game will be as a hard currency in the game. So for a Web 2 player, this is transparent, right? Everybody are used to have diamonds and coins and cash or whatever they call it in the game. And if you think about it, it's the same. What we are building with Beam is basically a mirror picture of what you have in the game and what you have in your wallet. So if in the progress of the game, you got 5 tokens, the wallet is updated with 5 tokens. If you are going now to participate in a tournament that gives you the chance to win the Lamborghini again, but it costs 100 tokens to participate, then we need to decrease your balance in your wallet in 100 tokens again, and to do it in a way that won't turn us into a custodial wallet. So all this is taking into consideration when we're doing that. So the presentation of the token for the user, I'll show one slide. I don't want to bore you with many slides, but this is one of the aha moments that we want to present to the player. The player is just playing the game, he's collecting tokens, he's winning tournaments, losing tournaments, getting bikes, losing bike. At some point, he'll get a pop-up and say, hey, you now have tokens worth $75. Do you want to redeem it? Oh my God, I was just playing a game. Do you want to give me money? I can assume that more than 10% will say, yes, give me the money. And then we'll just make a very simple onboarding process to take them to an exchange that will convert it to USDC or USD. Eventually, this is the aha moment for a Web 2 user to understand for the first time that never mind what marketing pitch he heard, he was playing a game. He was enjoying playing a game, and he actually made money by playing the game. So this is the beginning of adoption to the Web3. The third part of the Web3 approach is something that makes many partners that I'm speaking with very excited, and that's the track ownership. So if you think about it in our game, what I showed before, like there are many racing tracks. Never mind if I'll manage to get there, but there are many racing tracks. Basically, every tournament or event is happening on a racing track. And we are going to release the game with 100 racing tracks. We are going to sell these tracks as NFTs, but in a very unique way. Not just as an investment opportunity that somebody buys an NFT of a Bored Ape or something, sit back, and wait for it to appreciate. When somebody buys a track NFT, is basically buying a small business. Because together with this NFT, we are doing a web interface that is a management interface for tournaments and events. So think about somebody that is a KOL or have very big audience or a streamer, not necessarily Web3, somebody that is reviewing mobile games and is buying a track and he have millions of followers and he's saying, every Friday, 12 p.m. PST, I'm going to run a tournament and I'm going to give this Lamborghini again that we keep giving away. All the roads will be full of Lamborghini by the end of the talk. But it costs you 1,000 tokens to participate in this tournament. So basically, utilizing the audience that the streamer or the KOL have in order to make money. Basically, he bought a business. Now it's his part or her part to bring the audience and to make a formula that works. Because if you only charge 5 tokens and you give a Lamborghini, you lose money at the end of the day. But if you ask for 10,000 tokens to participate and you manage to bring 1 million players, you'll probably make it. The second part is that every time that we as a game use the track that belongs to you because you bought it, we pay royalties because it's not ours anymore, right? That's the ownership model. So if we make 1 million tokens from an event that we've done, a percent of that as a passive income will go to the track owner. So this is a very new model. I can speak about it for hours, why people find it interesting and exciting. But what we are doing here today with the tournament is exactly that. It's theoretically a merit circle track that they utilize in order to create some kind of engagement or fun in this event. There are many reasons to use the track that you own. You decide. You want just to give it for free for people to participate and give a reward just to help the people have fun? Great. You want to make money out of that? Great also. It's yours. Do whatever you want. So that's the track ownership, and that's more or less the plan that we have on the Web3. 2 words on where we are and what's the plan forward. We started less than 2 years ago, I want to say. We're 50 people now, which is quite big for a mobile gaming studio. We're fully remote. We don't have an office nowhere. I think 23 countries are 50 people. Like, we try not to keep 2 people in the same country so they never meet. But seriously, it's against the Silicon Valley where I come from approach that they want to bring everybody back to the office. We are going to prove to everybody that you don't need to sit every day in the office to create a game, and creativity can work in many other ways, but it's just a side note. We are very close to soft launch. We are going to release the game in a couple of countries in a few weeks, and we are going to optimize it and to add the Web3 features step by step to a Web 2 game that will be introduced to the players at the first stage. So that's more or less who we are, and taking all the design that we think is good, but we shall see very soon. But the numbers of users that we experienced in our previous game, we can assume that the first 10, 20 million players will come organically to the game. Plus, we have an old game that we keep live that is still getting, I want to say, 35,000 players a day organically without any marketing. And these players will be cross-promoted to the new game. And if you think about the games that you see around you, without mentioning names, games that have a token that's worth 1 billion, 2 billion, the numbers are not there. So if we can bring these numbers and convert the users to the blockchain, we are looking at something that didn't exist before. So we're very optimistic and very excited with the opportunity that we have. So $10,000. Thank you for making yourself like you are listening to me. So what we are doing basically, we created a small version of the game to you guys because the game is not live yet. It's a very, the tutorial is very short. We don't force you to do everything that we force the regular users to use. iOS download, Android download, you need to have test flight or to enable unknown sources for the Android. but this is going to be open from now. Is it 5 yet? Yeah, should be open. Okay, so in 5 minutes, it should be open for everybody. Basically, it will force you to do one tutorial stage and then take you to a big leaderboard where it says merit circle. You click it and you see the leaderboard, meaning who has the best time. You do the track, it doesn't cost anything. You can do it as many times as you want. At 9 o'clock, I think, depends on you guys, we just close the leaderboard and we take the seven first places. First place, 5,000, the rest of the 5,000 to the rest of the 6. That's a lot of money. I'm going to play. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I encourage you to play. And how can you get involved? First, you are all involved. Merit Circle is involved in the project, and we are all going to make it. So yeah, it's going to be lots of fun. But we are in a very interesting stage that we are going to go to the soft launch and then to the full launch. And if you want to get involved first, the people in Merit Circle knows us, and feel free to reach out through them or through us. We are on Twitter at Trial Xtreme. And yeah, I encourage anybody that have an idea, have any initiative, just reach out to us, and we are more than happy to speak. And thank you, guys.
Thank you, Doron. So yeah, it's 5 minutes until 5. We're going to have some really fun food served soon. We'll have drinks. Again, there are 7 games that you can play today. One of them is Trial Xtreme. In the Orange Tower, again, you will find Forgotten Playland. And all the other games, you'll go through the very warm room that's up there. And then on the left side, there's the room with all the PCs where you can try out the other games. And if you want to play Trial Xtreme, it got you excited, I'll make sure that the QR code comes back up here shortly. Then you're also very welcome to sit down here, have chats here. This whole area will be available to you. Other than that, the only thing that I have left to say is we're not going to take up more of your time today. Thank you so much for coming, and I hope that you will have fun.